You want to understand and know. You have chosen to come and be amongst the darkest of the dark. You've come to the darkest of the dark, to bring light to the darkest of the dark, to the hardest cases of the hardest cases, to see if you could find a path, see if you could find an opening with which to work and reach them. This has caused you to experience a lot of harm. A lot of harm. A lot of harm. And because you are of the divine, you know that all is of the divine. And it's hard for you to imagine someone that, even though you know it exists, and you have experienced and you can be able to identify those who are evil, you try to see light. Some of this is societal training, the looking for the good thing. Some of it is looking for divinity, and some of it is society, and it's gotten a little bit mixed up. And you have also co-opted some of the blame the victim, so that when you were looking for the divine in them and trying to see the divine in them and trying to help the divine be more shine more fully in their life, and then they just make the decision that they prefer the junk food, the quick artificial fixes of that is experienced when there is a lack of divinity. You find other artificial fixes to help compensate for that. There are many that have become addicted to these artificial means of compensation for the lack of light. And there's something along the edges of it that doesn't fit clearly with divinity. But there are those who prefer this to divinity, even once they become aware of divinity, because there is an addiction. It's like an addiction to a drug. And they prefer it over real happiness. And they don't like to be around divinity. It irritates them. And so they try to get others to join in their addiction. It is like a drug pusher. You have had many of these in your life. The person who raised you as your father was one of these. All of those that are insistent and would argue against you and divinity for their other things. They will push and argue of these. You're surrounded by them. They are constantly coming into your life because you're trying to bring them light and help them to see how beautiful the light really is. Yes, they sabotage. Yes, they twist. On a conscious level, they're only doing it to a certain point. But all of these ones, even their souls, are addicted to these fixes. You have talked about and come up with a plan of letting the oversouls take over in these cases. And those plans have been put in place. But some of these oversouls also have issues. For some of this, it's become very deep. It's become a very deep issue. God has come up with plans as to what should be done and how he will do it. And he will take care of that specifically, directly himself. Not going through others. Not wasting time. He'll just take care of that directly. These ones have been given more than enough opportunities to get straightened out. And they're not going to be able to do this themselves. It is going to have to be a situation where they will have to be cut off from getting to their fixes. As long as they have access to the fixes, they will continue on that path. They will never stop doing it. It has taken them over. Now you want to know about, because you have entered into a very special relationship and interaction. And you want to fix it. You see ways of fixing things. There is more hope. She does have an addiction to these things, but right now she believes that these fixes are the only thing that's keeping her alive. But she likes the light. See, that's the difference. She likes the light. She likes the way it feels. So she can maintain in this process. There are options available. And right now your heart only wants to see some of them. And so that's all you're going to see. There are fewer options. And you do not want to hear this. You want to keep trying, but you have tried everything. It is no longer a matter of what you can try to help him. Likes cheap food, likes quick fixes. He does not want to take the effort to even try the new food. If he can just lay here and just get fix after fix, like a drug addict in a drug house, just flopping on some mattress somewhere, and just give them the drug, and that's all they really care about. That is what it is. Things are going to open up, and options are going to be available, because we have heard and we listened and you understand. You really do want to be part of the new earth, the bright future, helping to really anchor in divinity, not just light, but divinity itself. Just by your mere presence and just mere presence, you can do this. Remember this, that no matter what situation you've been in, no matter how bad it looked, no matter how scary fears you had, something would work out. Something would work out. Yours is not the path now of trying to save everyone, because you've already seen and expressed and brought the information, and decisions have already been made. The plans are already moving. Everything's already being laid out. It is like when we described it as a big surprise party. It is like the cakes are being cooked. The final food is being prepared and made. The balloons are being blown up. We're in the stages, the final stages of preparation for the surprise party. We are not to the point where the guests are arriving yet, but we are to the stage of final preparations. That anticipation place, there's very excitement for those who are working on the party, of getting everything ready. So it's close, but it is not tomorrow. It is not like that right now. It will come just the right time, There have been a lot of changes and adjustments made leading up to this. And there is a lot to be prepared and invitations to go out to make sure everything lines up in the right way. So that after the divine move, there will be light and wonder and not complete chaos, because we do not want it to be a situation where an instantaneous, happy, surprise, wonderful, and then it devolves. We want it to maintain and grow. And so in order for it to maintain and grow afterwards, we're going to call it framework, scaffolding type of, must be already in place. And then it will build upon, it'll have something that's substantial to build upon once the divinity is recognized, and not go back into old destructive habits. We're going in a new path. We're going in a new way. Okay, you had an image that you had seen before in a book talking about cycles of creation, and that there is a time when everything returns to God and then everything goes back out to God. That's sort of a fanciful dogma thing. So, because whenever you would think of that and remember that image, you would also have, but not that. So it's like, it was confused. Because what is going to happen is not, it hasn't happened like this. We've had other sort of rebootish, if you wanted to say it, readjustments, types of things. This is going to be different, because we always go for different. We don't do the same thing. We always do different. And it's going to explode out in beauty and wonder, but we need to get all the scaffolding and all the structures in place, because when everything that is false falls away, when it is actually gone and it dissipates and it no longer exists, you need to have some sort of groundwork. So we are trying to get all the groundwork aligned as we do this. Listen to your heart. That's what we've been telling you. And you have been trained so much not to listen to your heart. You go keep pulling back up to your mind. This is why you have confusion. Also, you just want certain people to just be a certain way. Just connect to your divinity, and then everything's fine. And they don't, and everything's not fine. And you're like, just connect to your divinity. Just do it. And keep living that way, and just be honest and tell the truth, and listen to the kindness that's coming from you. They're too far. You know it. They're too far. They don't know how understand the language of their heart. They don't understand the language of divinity. It's too foreign. They can't even grasp when you're pointing at stuff. And it's not this is desperate. It's not this is a lost cause. It's not a lost cause. You're not being stupid. So you're beating yourself up. I'm being stupid. I'm creating all this bad stuff. No, you're not. You're not creating all this bad stuff. And that is why. So you kept wondering why. You would decide in your mind, I am going to do this and I am not going to do that. And then you get around somebody and then boom, you're doing the very thing you said you weren't going to do. The integration has come along very well and very fast. And you were thinking that it has been hindered and hampered because of all these difficult emotions and pain. This is not a vibrational higher self issue. As we stated to you clearly before, You are of the divine. You are still of the divine. You've always been of the divine. You have not technically left the divine. There has always been a direct connection. There have always been direct messages. And you knew sometimes this is what was going on, but you didn't understand it in your intellectual human brain. So it is not that you have to raise to a certain vibrational level or anything like that. You have been experiencing the stubbing of the toe. Okay? Which means that if a person hits their toe up against something very hard accidentally and did not see it coming, their immediate reaction is to bend over and go, ah, and grab their toe and focus on the toe and the pain and what's happened and try to understand what's happened. That is what you are doing. You have been experiencing a stubbing of the toe. You did not expect it to happen. You did not see it coming. It hit suddenly, painfully, and it hurt a lot. And you're looking at it and you're looking around trying to understand how you stubbed your toe. You didn't see any obstacles. Where did that come from? What is that doing there? Ow, here's my toe. Looking at your toe, is my toe broken? Is something? What do I need to do to help my toe? What do I need to do to make sure I don't stub my toe anywhere else? That is what you're experiencing right now. And when you do that, all of your attention is taken to the pain toe and what caused it. And that is what it should have happened. That is in line with what's divine. If you have the pain, you're supposed to know what it is so you can stop it and not do it again. So you're not being pulled away or out of it or making things slower. You're acting in harmony with it. I know. But you just stubbed your toe. It's just happened. And you're just trying to grasp and make sure that your toe is safe and make sure that it can heal and make sure you don't stub it again. And you have anxieties and worries, and that's because that makes sense because you just had pain and pain says stop. And the next question is stop it. It was like, okay, what do I need to stop? So listen to your heart. When you find that you can't not do something, then do it. Because you are divine, you've always been divine, you will always be divine. When you feel that you can't not do something, then do it. Whatever it is, even if your mind is telling you otherwise. Even if reason is telling you otherwise. Just do the thing that you can't not do and you will be fine. Because the integration is becoming more progressed along. You will be experiencing things as less as a definite other person and yourself. It will be more just, this is just who you are. And in that it's going to feel less formalized. Yes. The early messages that have been coming through you have been more formalized, more definite. You can tell something is coming through and you say, I'm feeling this different. And we might say phrases that distinguish you from the time weaver. But now you are becoming the time weaver, so the pronouns aren't what they used to be. You are a time weaver. You are that. Your experience as in the human form limits your access to the rest of the completeness of you. And so sometimes when talking as the complete of you, you will still refer to it as a separate being because it is an easier way to handle it. But at other times, you're just going to be expressing things left here and there or feeling things and feeling you can't not do something you absolutely must. There's no other choice in the matter. Just let it play out. It's going to be okay. Every stubbing of the toe always helps you to see what to avoid next. If you feel tired, sleep. If you feel hungry, eat. If you feel afraid, leave. Alana he moe este ne he ne. E moe he nata ne ke he tina hai. E wane moe na tina hai. Ana he tini ko la ai ni tanwai. You're feeling a sudden urge of extreme tired. There is much that will be accomplished in dream time. And less of you will be animating this body at times. It is okay. It's okay. It's okay. Be at peace, my dear one. Be at peace.